Hi guys, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel Leela WebDev. So in this video we will learn about the React element and also the component instance in detail. So we have learned about in our previous video about the React elements, component and also the instances. So these are a little bit different terms in React which works closely together. So that one we have seen it. So now we will try to see and I will try to explain you step by step. So I will start with a simple example. So here you know that export default function and we'll be having an app, right? So this is our default app, and here let's say example, we are having it is returning a simple thing that is nothing but return p hello react. Okay, so this is a simple example which is trying to return. And if you see the example for this one, here you will be able to see hello react. Fine, right? So now here you need to understand that a React component in this one is literally the declaration of a component as we see in the previous here in this code snippet. So in this case we are using a functional component. So but it could be any other kind of React component like React class component also it can be. So now so we understood about this one. So the React so the component means the functional component, the JavaScript function which returns the React JSX element. Okay, so while more complex JSX is a mixture of HTML and also the JavaScript. So fine. Now we understood about this one. So now what I want to tell you is we can also extract a component from other component also. For example, let's say that we are having another component like greeting. Constant greeting is equal to, so this one is an component, so which I am trying to have it. So here I will do a text, I will try to send a text, and here I will return the paragraph element. I will use this text. So fine, I will use this greeting here in this one. So here I will be using this greeting, as a component greeting here also. So we can close it automatically. Yeah, and I want to send the text here. So here I will send the text as hello react. Same things, the same output you will be able to see, but this time we are calling it using a component. Now if you try to see this component thing, if you see here the example, here the same output we are able to see. Okay, so now here, so we are rendering the component as a React element multiple times. So whenever a component gets rendered as an element, we create an instance of a component. So here whenever a component is getting rendered, so we are creating an instance of a component. So here you can call multiple times also. So that is what I want to explain you in our previous video. I have explained you. So here I can call this greeting multiple times. So here hello react 2. So here I can do it like this so that you will be able to see the 2 times. So here the React function is executed. It can be used multiple times as a React element in JSX. So when it is used, it becomes an instance of the component and lives in the React's components tree. So, so that is the main difference. That is the explanation of the React components element and also an instance in a nutshell. So now we will try to see in a deeper level. For example, let's say that here you are having a paragraph element, right? So here I will do the same thing like a paragraph element. I will take the hello react. I am using the same thing. And now here I will do the console.log, okay, of app. So I am calling as this one is a function. You know that this one is a function, right? So I can call it like this also as a function. So let's try to call this one as a function. Now when you try to call this one as a function, let's go to the inspect element, and if you try to see the console, okay, here is the console. Let's refresh this page. Yeah, now if you try to see here, so here you will be able to see an object, right? So whenever a React component gets called rendering this one, React calls its React.create element. So here it will create an object. So now if you try to focus on this object, so you are having something like $$ type of. So this returns it is a type of symbol. Symbol is a JavaScript primitive data type, so which will be useful. So here this one is used so in order to avoid the cross-site scripting. So why? Because through any API or anything, if an hacker or anyone wants to inject the component inside through the API means, so if it doesn't have this one, so why? Because symbol cannot be transferred through the API as a JSON, so it cannot be transferred. So it will try to check this one as a cross-site scripting. And here you will be able to see the props, and here you will be able to see a type. right? So here the type is nothing but an paragraph element, which is this one. Okay, so which is a paragraph element, it is a type, and the content whatever it is having, it is passed as a children here. If you try to see here, it is passed as a children. Now the same thing we will try to call it as a component. So here I will try to do console.log app. I will try to call it like this. Now if you see the output for the same thing, okay, now if you try to see the output for the same thing, now first one here, if you try to see, the type is a function, so here it is creating it as an instance, whereas here when you are calling this one as a function, so normally it is calling here like this. Now this time it doesn't have any props, but here it is having a props of children hello react. So this is the difference between these two. Okay, so now what I want to tell you is, so here you can also use something like here, instead of using this one, you can also use create element, which comes under the react, and here I can write the paragraph element, and which is having a class name, so that is nothing but the class name, and that one is a danger or anything, we can use it, and here I can pass the hello react. So this one is one and the same only. Now if you try to see the output, then also I am able to see the output. So here when you try to do the console element, so here for this type you will be able to see a class name danger, and you are able to see in the props only the children as hello react, whereas here you will be able to see the props nothing is there. Why? Because we are not passing any props for this one, so here we need to pass the props here. So now, so that means you can also pass this one as a children, so this is also one and the same only, that's not a problem. So here also you can use the same thing, so it's also works one and the same. Now if you try to see the output for this one, then also you will be able to see hello react this one. So the third argument is nothing but a children, so you can also pass it in the props also, that's not a problem. So now what happens when I try to call this one greeting, okay, when I try to call this greeting inside this one, so here inside this one, if I try to call a greeting, let's see what will happen. Now here I will try to use the greeting. Okay, so this one when you try to call like this, so here we are able to see text is equal to hello world. I am using it like in hello world. Okay, if you try to see here, we are able to see the hello world. Fine, right? So we are able to see the hello world. Now the same thing what I will do is I will try to call it as a function. So here I will try to call it as a function. Let's see how it will happen. Now here I will use this greeting, okay, like this, and I will pass the text. Okay, I am calling it like this, greeting. Okay, so the same greeting I am calling it like this, or otherwise we will try to do it. What is happening here? Greeting signature request can only be used in, so like this it is trying to use it. So what I can do is, so here instead of this one, I will use a simple div, and I will try to write it inside this one. Okay, yeah, fine. So now if you try to see the output for this one, then so here then also we are able to see same thing, right? So whenever I am trying to call the function here, so then also I am able to see it. For example, let's say that I am using a count. Here I am using a state variable. Okay, hooks I am using count comma set count. So what will happen? Let's try to see. So count comma set count, or otherwise I will try to show you this one also. So here if you see in this one, in the components list, so for the app component, so here loading element reactor. Okay, let's try to inspect the element again. So let's go to the components here. Now here in this app you are not able to see this greeting component, whereas if you try to use this greeting, instead of calling like this, if you call it as a component here, now the instance will be created for this one. So then you will be able to see the output. So not output, in the component tree you will be able to see it. If you try to see here, see greeting is there. Why? Because the instance has been created for this one. Now for the same thing, if I try to call the same thing as like this greeting as a function, and here I will pass the text as hello Leela or anything. Okay, so if I am trying to use it like this, then also it will work. Hello Leela is come, but here it is not formed as an instance, whereas for the parent one, if you try to see, so here you will be able to see. So now what is happening here inside this one? So for example, let's say that here it is having a state. So hook it is having, use state hook it is having. So what I can say is count, comma set count. I am using something like this. So here is equal to use state of 0. So just I have used it like this. Now let's try to see whether we can able to see the output or not. So then also we are able to see the output without any problem. Now if you try to see the output for this one, for this greeting, so greeting has its own state, okay, but whereas this in this app, so this greeting is a part of this one, so the hook is a part of this one. So that means it doesn't have the second greeting doesn't have its own instance or its own state. So this is the problem. So this is the how you will be having. For example, let's say that you want to use it something like what I can say is, here you are having a button, let's say. So here I will do the same thing. So we will use the rewired fragment, and here let's say that I am having a button, okay, and here, and what I will do is plus I will try to update it. On click is equal to, so on click is equal to let's say that I will update this one, set count of count plus 1. Okay, whenever I click on this one, I will update this one. So here also I will show the count. Okay, so that's it. So it's a simple thing. Now let's see the output, we are able to see it or not. So if I try to click on this one, so it is getting updated, fine. Now if I try to click on this one, whether it will be getting updated, this one is also getting updated. So this one is also working fine. So now what will happen is, so now here I will use constant is visible. So you will be able to see this type of problem. Set is visible is equal to use state of false, okay, and here I will try to use this condition in such a way that if is visible is there, if is visible is there, then only I want to show these two things. Those are nothing but like this, these two things I want to show it. Okay, so let's remove this one. Let's remove what I will try to do is I will use this what I can say, what is happening here, I will use this greeting. If is visible is there, ampersand ampersand, then only I want to use this greeting function. Now here I will use a button, okay, so here toggle, I will use a toggle, and here on click, on click I will use, what is happening here, yeah, on click is equal to, so I will write the code, set is visible, set is visible, set is visible of, so what I will try to do, not of is visible. So for the time being I will keep it like this. So now if you try to see the output for this one, so here if I try to click on the toggle, we are able to get a console error. So what it is happening, so here you should not use the rendered hooks during the previous render. So it is trying to tell you that, so here it has been called through in the condition. So what you need to remember is, so here the hooks and all those things, here the greeting whichever you are trying to call it here, so they are calling this one as an not an instance, as a method you are calling. So whenever you are trying to call the hooks as a condition, we cannot use the hooks as a condition. So here in such a way that how it is trying to behave is, so here it will be having a function in such a way that, and this one all it will try to return this one all. So like this, the code will be transferred into like this. So this is how you will be having. So this cannot be work. So this is what I want to explain you. Okay, so all the time whenever you are trying to use it, you need to use it like this only. So here it doesn't have its own life cycle. So whenever you are trying to call it using the greeting, it cannot have its own hooks or own life cycle. So that is the reason you are able to see this one. So now you will be able to see the output. Now if I click on the toggle, now you will be able to see the output. So this is the explanation which I want to tell you how the React elements component and component instances behave in the React.js. Hope you understood about this concept. If you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you.